Cougar Coaches Show here on ColumbiaCougars.com and Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo, play-by-play voice for the Cougars softball team, the head coach of the Cougars. You see her down at third base and in the dugout, Coach Wendy Spratt. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's almost time.
It is.
You had some fall games and then kind of the downtime a little bit, and now you really start looking at things in November, and really, before you know it, it'll be game time.
It will be. I'm excited.
You guys, last year, the conference was about as even as it's been in a long time. I know, there's 2 or 3 games separating when you ended up being a 6th seed from the 1, and then you get on the run in the tournament and win the whole thing. Take us back a little bit about that run and what it took to get it done in that tournament.
Well, again, I think you talked about it. It's the parity in the conference. It's probably been a lot more even, really, last year, and this year we're even adding more. But again, we should have won a couple games that we didn't win. But, we kept getting better every day, and I think we peaked at the right time. So coming into the tournament, we weren't, the 1 seed or 2 seed like we usually are. But we were very confident going in and knew that, we played all the teams and knew there wasn't anybody that we couldn't beat. And, we performed well.
Got it done, and that's what it comes down to. A lot of times in those tournament formats and settings, and there's probably 9 other coaches in the conference saying the same thing. We had a couple games that we should have won, didn't win. But that's how it works, especially when you guys play that doubleheader format for those conference matchups. A lot can happen strategy-wise, depending on really a lot of it comes back to what happens in the circle, what happens with pitchers. And certain schools have aces for a couple, 3 years. And, of course, when it's the opponents, hasn't she graduated already? Come on. How much more eligibility does she have when it's your team? You're trying to figure out how to keep her around for another 2 or 3 years. Can she pitch while she's working on her master's? Does that work? It doesn't usually work that way, but it really does a lot at this level, really at any level of softball, goes the way of how well that pitching staff is doing.
Right. And I think that was a lot of the parity in the conference. We didn't have one dominant pitcher, and usually on 1 or 2 teams you have a dominant pitcher. And I thought, everybody had good pitchers, but there wasn't a dominating pitcher.
And the hitters
so, offensively, how'd your offense produce on that day was a big factor.
Well, one of your big portions of that offense was Carly Spalding, the center fielder. Just about every award possible, including one that had never been won at Columbia College with the Golden Shoe Award, with 53 stolen bases, averaging like 1 1/4 a game or something, and almost 2 runs a game scored. Quite a weapon for you to have in that lineup, number 13. Absolutely.
Carly was our leadoff hitter. She got on base. She was an automatic steal to second base. Even they knew it, but they couldn't throw her out. And a lot of times we'd bunt her to third, so we just had to put the ball in play with no outs. So that was a great thing to have.
Almost not fair.
And I didn't even know about the Golden Shoe Award
until
she received it.
Until she won it.
I didn't know it existed. It's the top person in each division, so she stole more bases than anybody else in the NAIA.
Pretty cool. Yeah, first time ever a Cougar athlete has won that award, and that's in some pretty good company out there when you represent the NAIA.
Absolutely.
At that level. I mean, we knew her freshman year, her defensive skills and her bat was pretty good and had the speed, but last year she really kind of took it to the next level.
And she put in a lot of extra work, I mean, she's definitely talented. She's very athletic, but she put in a lot of extra work to get where she was, and she hit 500, and she now holds the batting average record as well.
At 91, I think? 491 for a season?
It was 491.
It was 491? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just over 5 for the regular season now.
Well, anyways, whatever it was, again, it shows those athletes as you see from whether you bring in that high school freshman or become a college freshman, the level jump from their high school play to the NAIA level at Columbia College, and they really kind of get an eye-opening of, whoa, okay, I was a big deal at my school, and now I got a lot of work to do. And it's how they take that challenge. And she certainly has, pardon the pun, run with that and really become a leader on this team.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what you hope for from all the freshmen, that they all kind of see that and want that fire, and others can feed off of her energy and bring back. Pitching-wise, Paxton's back, Amber's coming back. You got Lauren McCroskey, your 3 main pitchers that did well. Paxton certainly really kind of found her own down the stretch and was a driving force to that conference championship.
Definitely. Paxton's very reliable. She throws very consistently day in, day out, hits her spots. We can set up hitters, and she has a lot of confidence. So all the things that you need really in a good pitcher. And we threw a lot down the stretch, and she was very successful and helped us win that conference championship.
Amber battled through some injuries again, and she had some great outings too in the conference.
She did.
Some
and
big
Lauren
strong.
had some great days too.
Yeah, all of them.
well.
Who's going to catch them? That's going to be your big question. Losing
Yeah.
Taylor Atwood was quite a big piece to that defense behind the plate and with her bat. I know she joins you guys in the dugout now as a grad assistant, but who's putting on the mask and the catching gear behind home plate, or do we know that yet?
We do. Olivia Denslow is from Kirksville. She'll be our starting catcher this year, and she did a great job in the fall. We played 5 games. We went 5-0, and she did a great job with all the pitchers. Both, she's a very good defensive blocker. She can throw anybody out, and she communicates well. She calls a good game, so she's very well-rounded and very athletic and does a good job.
Fans of the Diamond Sports in Missouri know how important that catching position is with Yadier Molina to the east, and then the new World Series MVP in Salvador Perez in Kansas City. It's certainly not just what they do with the pitching staff, but the quarterback of the infield for sure.
Right.
And when you graduate one, you got to try and find that next one. It's not an easy position to fill like it is with similar to trying to find consistent pitching.
Right, absolutely, and she's done a great job stepping up, not being afraid to be vocal and to lead the team, and I thought she had an outstanding fall.
9 returners, 6 newcomers. If you can talk about some of the other newcomers that are joining your team, and you just mentioned your catcher there, but talk about some of the others. You've got bookends of Molly Carter from Hickman High School,
Right.
and then Sherelle Moody coming from New Zealand. So you pretty much covered the globe from the Cupies to New Zealand. That covers a lot of ground there, Coach.
Right, so we have Molly Carter. She comes in, she'll be our starting shortstop. I kind of thought she'd be a relief pitcher when she came in, but she's done an outstanding job, so she may see some time in the pitching rotation. But then the question is, what do we do at the shortstop position if we move her to the pitching staff? But she's come in and done a great job. She's got a great screwball, working on her drop a little bit. She does a good changeup, so she can spot the ball.
Just don't throw the drop from short to first. Just keep that steady over there for Mets to catch it, make it easy.
And then Natalie Dummett is from Kansas City. She went to Lee Summit High School. They were 2-time defending champs in softball. So she'll play outfield. She was a catcher for a high school team, but she'll play outfield for us. In her first game of the year, she hit 2 home runs. So she's about, 5'3" and 105 pounds, but she's a power hitter.
Can swing the bat. There you go.
Molly had a home run, and then Olivia Denslow, our catcher, had a home run the first day out too. So
Well, at that point now you're thinking, okay, well, here we go. We got some players, and again trying to move in now with only 2 seniors on the roster. I think it's 2 or maybe 3.
2.
Now you've got an opportunity to mix in some freshmen and some juniors. A couple of the players are transfers in from junior college ranks, and that helps spread out the experience level a little bit, more of a well-rounded team.
And Sherelle, you mentioned her, the girl from New Zealand. What she brings to the team is definitely a unique way of looking at the world because where they're from, it's a little bit different. One of her comments to me after practice, after the first week, she goes, "They're really supportive." She goes, "I thought at first they were being sarcastic because if I missed a ball at home, everybody would yell at me." She said, "They're really nice, and they mean it." So it's brought a whole new perspective of culture and everything, and she's hilarious and brings a lot to our team chemistry for sure.
Most definitely. And then the returners, as we mentioned, Carly kind of leads that group, but the rest of the infield, talk about some of the players and where they're going to be playing this year. I know you got
Allison Metz will be our first baseman coming
solid.
back in. She was all conference, and Juliana Waldner will play second base. She's our Canadian international player as well. And then Jessica Hardy played third, but this year Dakota Newton will move in.
Did she play third in high school, or did she play?
Dakota played third and short in high school, but we moved her to third. She's got a great arm, and we have Molly at short. So, but if we needed to, we could move Dakota to short.
Absolutely. Well, and again, you've been able to do that over the years and have versatile players, not just the ones that have come from the local area, which we have a good mix of players that are both from this area. Now you add a Cupid to the mix. Not all Jefferson City now.
No.
Or further south.
We haven't had a lot of Columbia girls, but Molly's definitely worth it. I mean, she brings a lot to our team. She works really hard. She'll play any position. She hits the ball hard. She can pitch as an aside. So
Traveling, you guys start in February, but you'll be in Fort Worth, Texas, Oklahoma, and then spring break back in Alabama, Gulf Shores.
That's not spring
Or
break.
that's not spring
That's
break.
just a regular
That's just regular
tournament. We're
tournament.
going to Orlando for spring break.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Go see the Mouse?
Maybe.
If they win. We'll see. Talk about some of those, I mean, obviously it's tough to play games here in
It
February.
is.
with the
So we
weather.
travel south to get
Yeah.
some warm weather. We've never been to Texas, so we're going to Fort Worth, Texas. I understand there are 19 teams in the tournament. I haven't seen the list or the schedule yet, but traveling there, and then we go to Oklahoma. St. Gregory's having a tournament. Last year we went, but Oklahoma Baptist hosted. So again, very competitive tournament. And then we'll go to Gulf Shores like we usually do and meet up against a lot of top 25 teams. So very challenging schedule early.
And again, that's a lot of times by design. You want to go see, you know, we talk all the time about sometimes the number to the left of the name isn't as important as the numbers to the right with the final scores. But the girls need to kind of get an idea of where they stand against some of the top teams. And then obviously you got to win in conference play to be able to get to the national tournament to play those
Right,
teams again.
it's by design. We definitely want to see where we're at nationally and see what we need to take care of, and you know, hopefully that makes our conference not look as tough. As long as we can, you know, understand the fact that the level we're playing and we get better every day, and that's really our focus. So obviously it worked out last year because we continued to improve every day throughout the course of the season and ended up winning the conference tournament.
Over the months of November and into the holiday stretch, what is practice scheduling like? How much time do you guys have as far as practices, and how's that organized?
Well, we go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do weightlifting, conditioning. It's quite a workout, but we figure they need a couple days off. We used to go 5 days a week, now we go 3 days a week. And then we kind of do some mental training on Thursday. Kind of go through a leadership, mental toughness class on Thursdays to get them mentally prepared for the game.
I know that's something that several of the coaches at Columbia College have kind of put into the program. I know you guys have done it for several seasons now, and you talk about softball and baseball, and I know with Coach Utley with golf, with yes, it's a team sport, but at the same time, when you fail more than you succeed, especially when it comes to the batting side of things, you know, there's a lot of the mental game that's almost even more important than fundamentals of fielding grounders and hitting the cutoff and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And you know, it's kind of how you react. I mean, bad things are going to happen, but how do you pick yourself up and move forward quickly because the next play's coming? You know, you can't drown your sorrows and have a pity party. You got to move on and perform at a high level to be successful.
Next play and next game, really, with conferences, with double headers and your tournaments, you're very rarely is there a day where you play with just one game.
Absolutely.
The entire schedule, really, if there is one. I don't know if there. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there? I don't.
Unless it rains.
Yeah, right. Unless you get rain, but that's another side of it. A lot of people, I think, don't really realize that. Yeah, you know, you're playing constantly. So if you're worried about an error in one game, that you don't want that carrying over to the next game because all of a sudden one loss turns into two, and keep that ship steady and get back on track. What about batting cage? I mean, hitting. Obviously, you guys do some of that in the turf room here and out on the field to get some field time, or is that kind of still yet to come?
Well, now we're completely off softball stuff. So anything they do now is on their own. Hopefully they're doing stuff on their own to improve their game. And I think the people that do a lot of that work are the ones that really have good years. So.
And when do you officially get them back as far as softball?
When they come back to school in January.
Gotcha.
So 12th, 13th,
Right,
January.
What, besides some of the obvious, as far as like winning the conference tournament again or the regular season, are there some specific goals that you guys have kind of laid out there that or the team maybe comes up with, or how do you do that?
You know, we kind of go through our fall season and our workouts. We really build our goals in January when we come back. After they've got a good concept of what this team can do and are confident in our abilities, we set our goals in the middle of the year. Obviously, we have goals to get us to this point, but our big goals as far as, you know, what we want to accomplish in a season happens in January.
Helping you out in the dugout, Debbie Jameson back again. Talk about what she brought to the dugout and coached down at first base last season.
You know, Debbie does an amazing job. She definitely keeps me grounded. I get kind of emotional sometimes, and she's pretty calm. But, you know, she works with the individual players and does a great job. She works a lot with our outfielders. And, you know, we communicate a lot. We have, and I think, you know, last year and this year we have a staff that really works well together with Jamie Holmes. And this year we've added Taylor Atwood, as you said, the 2 GAs. And we all work very well together, and our goal is always the same. We want to, make each player better and help, our team chemistry improve so that we're gelling together and improving every day.
And I think having that role that Taylor has now this year and Jamie a couple of years ago when she did the transition from playing as a senior leader and then the next year the graduate assistant role where she's a coach, kind of helps that transition at least a little bit with the players that know them from playing with them, being teammates. They can still kind of be that leader, especially with Taylor's position being a former catcher, but it can continue to kind of help you deliver that message to them and get the buy-in that you need to be successful.
Definitely, and that transition, that communication between those people that they respect is so critical it helps them buy into what we're trying to get accomplished. So they've been tremendous in doing an outstanding job. Addie was it takes a while. It takes probably the full fall season for somebody new that played with them to, turn around, and then to be a coach and feel like they're respected enough that they can have a voice. But Addie's gotten there, and Jamie did a great job last year.
Almost vice versa to think, okay, coach, I'm not your catcher anymore.
Addie wanted to know if she could call pitches from the bench. I said no.
That might take a while for that habit to go away. She could definitely certainly do that behind the bench. That was quite a player to have, and then now have her in the dugout. I think that's always such a positive, and a lot of teams do it in a lot of sports, and that can really help with the transition and obviously their continuation of education and staying with the sport. Because a lot of times that's hard for those players that finish their college careers, and now it's like, oh, okay,
what do I do now?
What, just play D-League? what am I going to do? So, well, good luck when you get with the players back, and I know you can meet some of the new players and get the full schedule that's posted so far on ColumbiaCougars.com, and getting ready for Cougar softball before you know it with Coach Wendy Spratt and the Columbia College Cougars again on the website at ColumbiaCougars.com. Thanks for watching Cougar Coaches Show here on MediaCom Channel 22.